I knew something had shifted the second she poured everyone wine but me. It wasn't obvious, not enough for anyone else to notice. The bottle tilted effortlessly across each glass, Emma, Sasha, Clara, and then paused in her hand when it came to mine. Not a hard stop, just a quiet one. Like she forgot. Or wanted it to seem like she did. I smiled anyway. Tapped my glass against Sasha's. Said something about how rose always tastes better in someone else's apartment. No one responded. We were supposed to be celebrating Clara's promotion. She'd finally made senior strategist after 3 years of being underpaid and over-relied on. Feminist justice, we joked in the Slack thread. But in person, the air felt thick. Congratulatory, but clipped. Like everyone was performing joy for her, but guarding their own. Clara wore this wide-legged beige jumpsuit I'd once complimented in a story reply. She never liked my response, just left it on scene. That's when I started to suspect something had turned. We used to be close. Not best friends, but close in the way that's effortless. Group texts, shared memes, the occasional double date. I knew her cycle better than my own, when she'd spiral, when she'd crave validation, when she'd need distance. I used to pride myself on knowing women that way. Reading the room. Reading the silence. But lately, I couldn't read Clara. Last month, she removed me as a collaborator on the doc we'd been building for the mentorship program. No explanation. Just gone. When I asked in Slack, she said it was just streamlining things. The same week, Sasha started posting subtweets, things like, watch who claps when you win and not everyone in your sisterhood is rooting for you. I didn't reply. I didn't know if I was supposed to. Now here we were, in Clara's apartment, sipping rose I didn't get poured, laughing a half-second too late at jokes I didn't fully understand. I touched my phone instinctively. No notifications. In the group chat, our real one, the one without Clara, things had gone quiet too. Messages left on read. Questions ignored. Suddenly, I was the one typing full thoughts and getting thumbs-up emojis in return. There's no word for this kind of exile. It's not bullying. It's not betrayal. It's choreography. And tonight, I realized I wasn't part of the dance anymore. Later that night, I posted a photo from the gathering. Just one. Clara mid-laugh, Sasha leaning in, the kind of shot that makes it look like intimacy still exists between us. I tagged them all. Wrote, grateful for nights that feel like 2019. A lie, but not an obvious one. Clara didn't like the post. Sasha viewed my story, but didn't reply. Emma heart reacted with the generic warmth of someone still neutral. I stared at the screen, the timestamp mocking me, seen at 10:14 p.m. I didn't sleep well. There's a particular kind of ache when women you once belonged to begin to orbit without you. It's not loud. It's not even personal, really. It's tonal. A shift in timing. A missed inside joke. A photo you weren't in. And you start to wonder when the drift began. Was it that night you vented too long? The time you posted that meme that felt a little too pick-me? The guy you dated who Clara once called a red flag in a blazer? I'd stopped dating him months ago, but maybe the betrayal lingered. In the past, I would have written a thread about it. Something cutting but vague. Funny how sisterhood has so many fine print exclusions. That kind of post always did well. Always got nods from strangers who'd survived friend group exiles with their dignity barely intact. But I didn't want strangers this time. I wanted Clara to text me. She didn't. Instead, I saw that she tagged Sasha in a meme. When your therapist says, cut off the low-vibe friendships, and you already did. Comments full of laughing emojis. Emma even replied with deadass and a crying face. I closed the app. Tried to tell myself it wasn't about me. But I knew it was. The meme was too specific. The timing too cruel. I didn't cry. That would have made it feel too real. Instead, I stood in the kitchen and made tea I didn't want, holding the mug like a prop. I kept checking my phone though. Just in case someone messaged. Just in case I was wrong. But no one did. We used to talk about emotional labor like it was a shared burden. A kind of feminist shorthand for all the invisible effort, the texts sent, the birthdays remembered, the careful checking in after a fight. I was good at it. Too good. Clara once called me the glue. I remember because she said it at a wine night after I smoothed over a weird silence between her and Sasha. "You always know when someone's off," she said, and I glowed a little in that quiet, desperate way we do when women we admire notice our care. Now, I think they resented it. Or maybe resented needing it. Or maybe they never needed it at all, and I mistook dependency for closeness. It's funny. No one teaches you how to handle being emotionally replaced. Not romantically friendship replaced. When your spot in someone's psyche, the one labeled safe to text late at night, gets quietly handed to someone else. I tried to test it. Sent Clara a meme she would have loved last year, some TikTok about women who intellectualize every gut feeling until they don't even recognize it as hurt. No reply. She shared it on her story 3 hours later with a different caption and no tag. I watched it again and again. Like maybe I could find myself in the credit. Later, Emma posted a carousel from Clara's apartment. More photos from the night. One of Sasha pouring wine. Another of the 4 of them holding glasses. All of them. Except me. It took me a second to realize someone else must have taken that group shot. Probably me. I scrolled back to my own camera roll. There it was, time-stamped and unfiltered. I remember framing it, telling them to lean in, say something funny. I took the photo and still didn't make the post. That's when it hit me. The version of me they're curating now is quiet. Helpful. Invisible. The girl who brings her own wine and leaves early. I used to think emotional labor was my superpower. Now I think it was just easy to extract. Sasha tweeted last night, "Some of y'all confuse shared trauma with friendship." No tags. No context. But come on. The thing about being close with someone is you learn how they fight, even when they say they're not fighting. Clara went silent. Sasha got vague. Emma stayed neutral, which in our friend group meant loyal to whoever was winning. I stared at the tweet like it was a mirror, fogged but still too revealing. We had bonded over hard things. Breakups. Work politics. That one retreat where a facilitator asked us to describe our most formative experience with female betrayal, and all 3 of us told stories we'd never even shared in therapy. We cried in a circle, then got tacos after like healing was just another checkbox. But I never thought that meant my presence had an expiration date. I wanted to write something back. Something classy but cutting. Some of y'all confuse vague tweets with courage. But I didn't. I just retweeted a quote from Bell Hooks. "When we can see ourselves as we truly are and accept ourselves, we build the necessary foundation for self-love." Sasha liked it. And that's how I knew she was winning. Because when women are done with you, they don't yell. They aestheticize their exit. They send signals wrapped in fonts and filters. They reassign your intimacy to someone more palatable. I saw it in real time this morning. Clara posted a boomerang, her and Sasha clinking coffee cups. Caption, "My rock. My clarity." I've literally seen her call Sasha unstable in our private messages. But I guess narratives shift when you change the audience. It's not that I need to be everyone's favorite. I just didn't expect to be rewritten so quickly. To go from co-conspirator to that girl who makes everything about her without a single confrontation. No text. No call. No moment of grace. Just a slow erasure. And a new lead cast. There's a contract no one talks about in feminist spaces. Not the loud ones, the Instagrammable ones. The quiet, conditional ones. Unspoken, but felt. We'll call each other sisters. We'll share trauma and tampons and tweet threads about collective healing. But the second one of us becomes inconvenient, too messy, too sensitive, too hungry for reassurance, we get quietly removed. Not canceled. Just silenced. Polite excommunication. A ghosting dressed as growth. I kept rereading old messages from the group chat. I don't know what I was looking for. A time-stamped betrayal? A text I forgot to respond to? Some moment where I started to take up too much space? There was nothing. Just long scrolls of affirmations, jokes, logistical planning. Me suggesting the anti-patriarchy book club. Me organizing the birthday collage for Sasha's 30th. Me Venmoing first, texting first, apologizing first, even when I didn't know what I'd done. I used to think that made me generous. Now it just makes me feel pre-replaced. The new girl's name is Leah. I figured it out through tagged posts. She's soft-spoken, spiritual, calls herself an energy curator. She posted a story yesterday from Clara's living room. Same wine glasses, same playlist, same candle I brought last year. She captioned it, "Safe space with safe women." There it was. The NDA in 4 words. I showed it to my therapist. She asked how it made me feel. I wanted to say betrayed. Instead, I said, predictable. Because maybe that's the truth. I always knew I was the utility friend. The reliable one. The one who always showed up but never glittered enough to be the center. I was useful. Until I needed something back. Sasha once told me, "You're too intense sometimes." It was after I cried at brunch, quietly, over a breakup I didn't know had unraveled me that much. She said it like a kindness. But I think she meant, "You're not aesthetic grief. You're grief that makes the table uncomfortable." So I learned to smile tighter. Cry quieter. Be more contained. And even that wasn't enough. Leah posted a photo last night. Clara and Sasha on either side of her, their cheeks pressed together like there was no space between them. The caption read, "Grateful to be witnessed in all my forms." I used to write things like that. I used to believe things like that. I zoomed in not on the faces, but the backdrop. Clara's couch, the one I cried on during the week my father got diagnosed. The mug Sasha broke and I glued back together as a joke about fragile masculinity. The blanket I bought her for her birthday last year, folded neatly behind Leah's head. My life, rearranged without me. I thought about posting something. Something sharp and glittering. A quote, maybe. Sometimes people pretend you're hard to love when they've already decided to stop trying. But it felt hollow. I'm tired of speaking in subtext. Of performing resilience like it's my job. So instead, I texted Clara directly. Did I do something? Or did we just expire? She replied 2 hours later. It's not about blame. It's just energy. Things shifted. I'm wishing you ease. I stared at the words until my phone dimmed. Not about blame. Just energy. I almost laughed. Not because it was funny, but because it sounded like a breakup letter written by someone who wanted to keep their aura clean. And maybe that's what it was. A breakup. Not romantic. But intimate. The kind that stings longer because you don't have a word for the loss. No playlist. No clean story to tell. Just the quiet unfollowing of your emotional self. The worst part? I don't think she hates me. I think she still thinks she's a good friend. The kind who ends things gently. Who doesn't gossip. Who calls it growth instead of distance. And maybe she is. Maybe they all are. But tonight I watched Leah post a boomerang from Clara's apartment, scented candles, ambient music, the caption, "Safe women only." And for the first time, I didn't feel jealous. I felt relieved. Because if that's what safety looks like now, curated, conditional, bloodless, I'd rather be outside. Even if it means sitting alone with a glass of wine no one poured for me. At least the silence is honest. I ran into Sasha last weekend. Not ran into like the movies, with a slow pan and swelling music. No. Just the stark, awkward fluorescent lighting of a bookstore's self-help aisle. She was holding a copy of Set Boundaries, Find Peace. Fitting. She saw me. I saw her. We smiled like people who used to know each other's therapy schedules. "Hey," she said, like nothing had happened. Like I hadn't been unfriended in group chat form. "Hey," I echoed. She asked how I'd been. I said, "Good," because there's no correct answer when the person asking once shared your worst days and now doesn't even like your posts. We stood there, both pretending not to feel the weight of everything we weren't saying. Eventually, she mentioned Clara. Said, "She's doing so much better lately." I nodded. "Yeah, I've seen." She paused, like she wasn't sure whether that was a confession or an accusation. Then, she just needed a different kind of support. I didn't ask what kind. I didn't need to. We said goodbye like acquaintances, tight smile, one step back body language, a non-committal, take care. I watched her walk away, book still in hand, her fingers pressed against the spine like it might keep her from folding. That night, I dug through old voice notes. There was one from Clara, 3 minutes long, from last fall. She was crying about her job, about feeling like she wasn't enough. I'd responded with paragraphs. resources, encouragement. I even sent her a spreadsheet I'd made of women-run agencies hiring within her niche. She never said thank you. At the time, I didn't mind. I believed friendship was about showing up, not keeping score. But now? Now I wonder if I made it too easy to disappear from. Like maybe all that labor made me into a service. And services don't get closure. They just get turned off. I sat on the floor, phone glowing, fingers cold. There's a kind of grief that doesn't need a funeral. Just enough silence, and the knowledge that the people you once cried with now roll their eyes at your name. I used to say the patriarchy stole our sisterhood. Now I think maybe we gave it away. Quietly. Elegantly. With good intentions and clean captions. And I'm left holding echoes. And echoes don't hug back. I drafted a message to Clara last night. It wasn't dramatic. Just a soft ask, can we talk? Not to fix anything. Just to understand. I sat with it for 20 minutes. Reworded. Deleted. Typed it again. And then, I closed my phone. Because I knew. I knew she wouldn't respond. Or worse, she would with something neutral, curated, sanitized. Like, I think we're just on different paths now. Wishing you healing. Healing like I'm sick. Like my grief is a symptom and not a sign that I once loved something real. I've been reading about friendship breakups lately. Think pieces. Substack essays. Listicles about how to let go with grace. They all say the same thing. Sometimes people grow apart. But no one says what to do when the growing apart feels more like pruning. Strategic, silent. When you're the limb that got clipped. Emma texted me today. Just a meme. A squirrel holding a knife. It used to mean something, a code between us, a shorthand for petty rage. I didn't laugh this time. I just replied with LOL and muted the thread. Later, Leah posted a carousel. Clara, Sasha, her. A retreat in the woods. Incense. Journals. Someone's bare feet on a yoga mat. Caption. This is what repair looks like. I'm the rupture, apparently. The one who didn't adapt. The one who felt too much, asked too much, remembered too much. The one who cried too long and made it hard for others to feel peaceful in their curated wellness arc. The irony? I used to write about this. Wrote essays on how the performance of healing often silences the messy, inconvenient parts of womanhood. Wrote about how we trade compassion for calmness, how we exile the ones who mirror our own undone selves. Clara shared that essay once. Called it important work. Now she does sound baths with the girl who replaced me. No one teaches you how to mourn someone who's still alive, still posting, still being the version of herself that she told you helped her become. There's no ritual for that. No closure. No ceremony. Just the knowledge that if there was an exit interview, you wouldn't be invited. I saw them again, Clara, Sasha, Leah, at the feminist panel downtown. I almost didn't go. Thought maybe I'd run into them. I did. They sat in the third row, taking selfies with the branded notebooks, laughing at something I couldn't hear. I stood near the back, suddenly aware of how loud my breathing felt. The panel was about community. One speaker said, "Sisterhood is the antidote to scarcity." And Clara nodded, like she hadn't recently made me the evidence that some women are simply too much. I didn't stay long. Slipped out before the Q&A. The air felt too curated. Like even the pain had to fit a narrative. Aesthetic grief. Empowerment arcs. No one talks about the flat parts. The empty inbox. The tagged photos you're not in. The group chats you no longer have the right to joke in. No one tags you in grief. Later that night, I walked home slowly. Past the wine bar we used to go to after protests. We'd debrief while pretending not to perform, comparing call-out stories like bruises. I ordered a glass of rose. Sat at a two-top. No one joined me. I watched 3 girls walk past, laughing, arms linked. And for a moment, I felt like an older version of something they were still naive enough to believe in. I texted no one. Open notes. Wrote, they didn't destroy me. They just removed me. Kindly. Like a skin tag. Deleted it. Posted a photo of my glass instead. Captioned it, learning how to enjoy my own company. It got 12 likes. No comments. I didn't cry. I just felt still. And I think that's what healing looks like. Sometimes not joy, not forgiveness, just the absence of the ache. The silence not filled. The wine you pour for yourself. No group toast. No performance. No curated caption from someone who once called you sister. Just you. And your reflection in the glass. And the softest thought of all. Maybe they weren't safe either.